Shumeewamee and the Volcano of Mad by Yaged. Episode 7. Russ and King Shumeewamee both sat there in silence for a moment. Maybe they were wondering if they really did like one of their parents better than the other. "It's wrong to like one parent better than the other, isn't it?" Russ asked. "Feelings aren't right or wrong," King Shumeewamee said. "They just are." "Good, because I hate when my mother barges into my room and starts yelling at me," Russ blurted out. He was so shocked by his words, he slapped his hand over his mouth as if trying to stuff them back in. But it was too late. The words had already come out. Out of the corner of his eye, Russ peeked over in the king's direction. What would King Shumeewamee think about someone who hated his mother? King Shumeewamee lifted his arm, waving a finger towards the sky. "I have a theory about that." Russ raised an eyebrow. He learned that from King Shumeewamee, by the way. "Dust!" King Shumeewamee waved his finger more vigorously. Russ kept his eyebrow raised, hoping this would let King Shumeewamee know he still wasn't getting it. It must have worked, because King Shumeewamee continued. "The dust in your room drives your mother crazy." "Really?" Russ asked in disbelief. "She's probably allergic," King Shumeewamee explained. "It's not her fault the dust makes her crazy. You can help her out by keeping things neater." "You're just trying to get me to clean my room," Russ said. "Just a suggestion," King Shumeewamee said. "It's not my room. It's not my mother." "What if I clean my room and she still goes crazy on me?" Russ asked. "We have ways of dealing with that, too," the king said. Russ got excited. Maybe King Shumeewamee was going to teach him a magic spell. King Shumeewamee closed his eyes, then spread his arms like someone about to give a huge bear hug and took a very deep breath. "Take a deep breath and start counting backwards from 1,000, he instructed. "That's your advice?" Russ raised his voice. "You really think for 1 second that breathing and counting are going to make me feel better? I breathe all the time, and I don't see any difference." "Not just any breathing," the king explained. "This is special breathing." With that, King Shumeewamee closed his eyes again, crossed his legs, bowed his head, and began levitating in the air. I'm not lying. He just floated there, like there was actually something underneath him to support him. Russ even waved his arm back and forth a couple of times where the something to support him should have been, just to make sure. "Neat trick," Russ said. "It's no trick," King Shumeewamee told him. "And if you ever want to learn Snappy's, you have to start here." This immediately caught Russ's attention. Was there really a possibility that King Shumeewamee would teach him Snappy's? "All right," Russ piped up. "What do I do?" "Cross your legs," King Shumeewamee instructed. Russ crossed his legs. "Bow your head," King Shumeewamee continued. Russ bowed his head, then quickly complained, "Hey, why aren't I floating?" "Give it time," King Shumeewamee said. "First, you must listen and learn. Repeat after me. I am light. I am love. I am success." Russ didn't repeat anything. Instead, he looked King Shumeewamee in the eye and said, "That's stupid." Then he kicked the wall. King Shumeewamee looked at Russ in a way that said he wasn't too pleased. Russ started turning red from embarrassment. I don't mean you're stupid, it's just that—" Russ struggled to find the right words. After a long pause, King Shumeewamee said, "That wasn't very nice." "I thought you said feelings aren't right or wrong," Russ said. "I did say that," King Shumeewamee agreed. "Feelings aren't right or wrong. It's how you get angry that can be a problem." "Oh, great," Russ complained. "Now you're going to tell me there are rules for how to get angry." "Exactly." King Shumeewamee was pleased. Russ was a very fast learner. "You can't hurt yourself. The king counted the rules off on his fingers. You can't hurt anyone else. You should talk about it. Don't break anything. King Shumeewamee paused to scratch his crown. There's one more. Oh, I know. It's okay to be angry. Really? Russ was surprised. It's not the anger that's the problem, King Shumeewamee said. It's what you do about it that could be a problem. Okay. Russ hung his head. He was thinking that maybe what he had done with his anger wasn't so good. I'm sorry for calling that thing you said stupid. But isn't there something else I can say? You mean something that suits you better? King Shumeewamee asked. Yeah, Russ said. That sounded good to him. Well, sure there is. King Shumeewamee grew cheery once more. He crossed his legs, bowed his head, then floated into the air as he began repeating, I am salami. I am bratwurst. I am a ham sandwich. I am salami. I am bratwurst. Well, that's just silly, Russ interrupted. Then what would you suggest? King Shumeewamee asked. Russ scratched the top of his head, and King Shumeewamee scratched the top of his crown at the same time. How about, I am smart, I am strong, I'm... Russ struggled to find a third thing. I'm angry! Oh, King Shumeewamee said. Oh? Russ repeated. Is there something wrong with that? No, not at all, the king said. It's good to know you're angry. It's just not what I had in mind. Do I have to do everything you say? Russ grew angrier. Not at all. King Shumeewamee scrunched up his face so that Russ could tell he was thinking hard. It's just that anger's heavy, which makes it harder to levitate. Levitate? Russ wasn't sure what that was. Float in the air, King Shumeewamee explained. So, now you're going back on your word? You're saying I can't float in the air after all? Russ asked. No, King Shumeewamee said. I propose something entirely different. I say we replace the anger with something lighter. This way it will be easier for you to lift off the ground. I like that idea, Russ said. Okay, then close your eyes, the king instructed. Do I have to do everything with my eyes closed? Russ complained. No, King Shumeewamee said. It just helps. And since you're in such a rush about everything... Russ peeked at King Shumeewamee out of one of his eyes. That wasn't very nice. Oops, sorry. King Shumeewamee smiled an embarrassed smile. I didn't mean to say that. I forgive you, Russ said, both eyes now closed tightly. The best way to make yourself lighter is with imagery, King Shumeewamee explained. Do you know what that is? It's when you imagine something, Russ said. Exactly. So, what I want you to do is picture yourself being light, King Shumeewamee instructed. Like being in a treehouse? Russ asked. Right, King Shumeewamee said. Or being at the beach, Russ said. On a boat! Or floating on your back in the ocean, King Shumeewamee suggested. Looking at shapes in the clouds, Russ added. As anger leaves your body, it evaporates, King Shumeewamee explained. Washing away in the water, Russ said. How do you feel? King Shumeewamee asked. I feel light as a feather, Russ said. Perfect, King Shumeewamee cheered. Really? Russ asked. Do you feel angry anymore? King Shumeewamee asked. Russ shook his head. Absolutely perfect! King Shumeewamee jumped up and down in celebration. Russ joined him, and for a couple of minutes they spun out of control. They spun until King Shumeewamee suddenly stopped and said, Uh-oh! King Shumeewamee stopped so suddenly, Russ spun right into him. After an acceptable number of rounds of, "Excuse me and pardon me," Russ got back to the matter at hand. What's wrong? He asked King Shumeewamee. I just realized something, the king said. What? Russ was nervous with anticipation. I think we're lost, King Shumeewamee said. You think we're lost, or you know we're lost? Russ asked. Do you know where we are? King Shumeewamee wondered. How would I know where we are? Russ answered. Then we are definitely lost.